Yo, yo, yo.
Hey guys.
What's up? The episode everybody's been waiting on.
It's so dramatic.
I know. I don't know why, though. Why is everybody waiting for this episode?
Because they trying to see if we're going to spill some beans.
What beans, though? I
I
mean,
don't know.
what are we
Church
talking about?
beans.
What are we talking about?
Ministry.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a big aspect of our life.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's only right that we do talk about something that impacts our life.
Yeah,
And how
for sure.
we've learned to navigate.
Yep. I feel like our whole podcast is about navigating life, right? Like we're navigating
Yeah.
like every asset of it. But this time around, it's ministry. And the stressors or the good, the bad.
Well, not
I want to say the
bad.
bad, yeah. Like the not as great parts of being married in ministry,
Yeah.
right?
And I think we have to be intentional with you guys understanding that this episode, it's not going to be a cookie cutter.
No.
It's going to be basically our experience and how we've come to give you our perspective,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
in
I'm on, I
navigating.
think. Yeah, because I think ministry looks different for everyone.
Yeah.
Married, single, young, old, seasoned, unseasoned.
Unseasoned?
Unseasoned? Oh, no. Like, whatever. Marinating, I guess. I don't know. Whatever you say for the younger people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it looks different for everyone. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I think, what's the hot topic, I think? What is the main topic that people want to dive in? What do people want to know about?
I mean, I think it depends
Mm-hmm.
because when you're talking about ministry,
Yeah.
there's different angles that people are looking at ministry.
True.
You know,
True.
and I think the angle that we're giving you our perspective on is going to be from like serving and serving heavy,
Yeah. That's true.
you know.
That's true. So I guess that we dive into that, right? So
Yeah.
how do you serve?
Currently or all my life?
Ooh,
All
all your
my
life,
life
you
I
had
had
to
to
fight. All your life, talk about it. Go down memory lane.
I mean, I grew up in church, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from young. I've been going to the same church for like all my life.
Yep.
For the last, what am I now? Almost 30.
Mm-hmm.
For the last like 20 something years. I've been going to the same church. And I've served in different capacities, dancing, miming, helping out anywhere that I can. Currently, I do social media management for our church. And I also help out in other aspects with our women's group, you know, with Fresh Oil. Whoop, whoop. I'm also wearing some Fresh Oil gear.
Okay.
So if you guys like the merch, it says Wake, Pray, Slay. Super cute, super cozy. This episode, we just really wanted to be really cozy.
Yeah.
Because it's cold outside. Yeah, so it's my Fresh Oil gear that I'm wearing, and I'm super cozy in it. But back to the topic. Yeah, right now I'm doing that, but I've kind of always been a girl where my hand will be lent in everything.
Yeah.
You know? How about you?
Same, I guess, right? Grew up in church rat, as they say. I was at every service, you know.
Name the services.
Oh God, my grandfather was a deacon of a church,
And my dad
her dad as
is
well.
a deacon.
Yeah. And man, I was at every service. I was at prayer meeting. FTH.
Explain
Family
FTH.
Training Hour.
Explain it.
That is where we got our brasses from, where we learned the Bible, right? All the books is
Sword in hands.
right? Swords in hands and all the good stuff. And you know, I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. All the good stuff. But I was at every service. You know,
Bible
conventions.
study.
Yeah.
Conventions.
I was born on a convention. So
You were born on
I
a...
was.
Wait, hold on. You never told me that.
Yes, I was.
You were born on a convention?
Yeah, like the weekend. Yeah.
Which convention was it? Women's
The-
convention?
No, the general like church convention.
Oh, because if it was women's convention,
Yeah,
they
nah.
would have left
They
you.
would have waited for me to. They would have waited for convention to be done. Then
Guys,
had me.
like, we have to let you know how important women's convention is
That's where the money's
in the
at.
Pentecostal churches. Like,
That's where the money
literally,
at.
the women's conventions come around,
Yep.
everything stopped.
But yeah, I was born on a convention weekend. So my birthday was kind of lame growing up. But yeah, I
Wait,
mean,
and they held that same convention every year?
same weekend.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no fun. Um, yeah, it sucks. It really sucks. Traumatic. Um, but yeah, my grandfather, helped build my old church, and I was just with him all the time. I had my car seat in the church van, like growing up.
Wait, the car seat in the church van
Yeah,
was
behind
taking me
him.
out.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was.
he used to drive the.
Yeah, he's driving church
My
van.
dad used to drive the church
Yeah.
van too. They had
See.
like an alternate. Oh wow, I
Yeah.
never knew
So
that.
yeah, I mean,
That's
yeah, I
cool.
grew up in church.
Yeah,
But over time, my grandfather got a little older, moved to Florida,
yeah.
and honestly, I just carried out his name. So I was the Cunningham at my old church, and man, what didn't I do? Right, I helped. The secretaries had keys at like 17, something like that, 18. Open up church.
Having keys to
Yeah.
church is like,
It used to see when you was growing up as a kid, it was like a blessing, and even like being a musician, it's like, oh, you
you
lit, you
got
go.
keys. You got
I
the
go
keys
in
to the
whenever I
church. You
need
got the keys. The
to. I could
keys.
rehearse. I could do whatever. But see, what happened is when they start calling you to open
Oh,
up,
brother Ramel, can
they
you come
start calling
open
you
the
to open up the
church?
church, and then they call. Then they leave you to lock up.
They leave you to lock up.
So it wasn't fun. But yeah, I just honestly, my grandfather just instilled serving into me. I watched him do it, and it kind of just stuck with me. So I did
Yeah.
play drums, led worship.
Why'd you stop playing drums? Oh my God, like,
I don't know. Seasons change, man. Seasons
I love
change.
to see you on some drums.
Yeah, not anymore.
Do you even know how to play stuff?
Nope.
Wow.
I think I do. I think you always got it, but
I think the last time you played in our church, like I was watching you, you were like
nah.
sweating.
I'm just because I need practice. Like
Yeah.
I'm just not. Don't throw me out there.
It's not like riding a bike, like once you know it.
It is to a degree, but now everybody got click time. You on timing,
Oh,
and
okay,
you
okay.
just. I grew up in a Jamaican church, so it was. Yep, chankies and all that good stuff. Like it was very basic. But yeah, I led worship, sang. I
You
led the
did.
choir.
You could still sing.
Okay, I led worship.
Why are you always so scared when that comes up?
I don't know, because I feel like people be like, "Oh, go ahead, sing."
Go
Nah, I'm
ahead.
good. I'm good. It's for His glory only.
So if someone
In the
said,
shower, when I'm when I'm with my Lord, that is it.
that is it,
That is
okay.
it. But yeah, nah, I sang, led the choir, did that.
You were also in
Youth
like
leader.
youth leader.
Yeah, I led helped in the youth
Young
ministry.
boys.
Yeah, young men. Like I was like the men's secretary, I
You were
think.
the men's secretary?
Something
That's
like that. Yeah,
crazy.
secretary. And then I was like leading the young men. Mimed.
Yeah, you did.
And at one point I was almost like leading the entire dance ministry, which was weird. Yeah.
Which like praise dance?
Well, I was just like the co-lead,
Oh, okay, okay,
kind of
okay.
like that. Yeah, it was kind of weird.
You have an extensive church resume.
Yeah, apparently, but now I'm at my new church. I didn't say new
It's not
because
even
I've
your new
no
church.
church.
Like you've been here.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the church my whole life too. So, currently, I lead the production team,
Production director.
production director there, on the intercessory team because a brother can pray.
Okay.
Okay. Um, and honestly, I just do whatever. So, if I got to pick up a broom, I'll do that. If I got to
Yeah.
open up, I'll do that. If I got to, whatever,
Literally.
yeah, I do
You're
whatever.
like the deacons,
Well, I'm an alternate deacon.
oh right. I still don't understand the concept.
No, I mean, it's
No, I
just,
get the concept,
yeah.
but
No.
like no, but like the deacons always like, Ramon, like
Well, because I think it's just, it's
Yeah.
just my grandfather. Like,
Yeah.
that stillness in me and just
helping.
helping, especially the older men, because they're getting old,
Yeah.
and they need help. So, help the church, young
Help
men,
the church.
help.
Help. You know what's so funny? We had a conversation the other day, and we were talking about a lot of younger men in this generation don't know. Is it like tradesmanship? Am I saying
Oh
the
yeah,
right
yeah,
word?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, no, it's true. I think they're out of touch, so they don't know how to
Yeah.
I think I'm the. Oh, I said man's man. I think
Yeah,
that was
you
the
asked
same.
me
Yeah,
that. You were like, "Do you think I'm a man's man?" And I was like, Wait, I'm taking it back. What are you asking me right now?
Yeah,
But then I had to
it's
think
fun,
about it.
crazy. Yeah, but I think because I got that growing up in church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like watching my grandfather fix a thing, or some of the other men like fixing things. Even now, like brother Earl, brother Bacchus, brother George, all of them. Like I watch them do a thing, and I'm curious, like what you doing, and I want to help. So
And then
it's.
you also went to electrical
I did
school.
go to electrical school. Yes,
We're
I did.
gonna have an education
Listen, leave me alone.
episode
Leave me alone.
on
I listen. I could change the light bulb. I could
no
change the light
no,
switch.
you actually like can be an electrician.
But I find myself being a jack of all trades. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's help because
You're a
owning a
handy guy.
home is real.
What you said?
Owning a home is real. So being able to do some of the things is helpful.
On the time that you're supposed to do it.
Let's not go there. Let's say that for
It's
the
nice to
marriage
know that
conversation.
it's nice that you can do it, but you just
Save
don't
it
do it
for the
when I
marriage
ask.
conversation. Let's save it for the marriage conversation.
Anyways,
We're talking about
guys.
ministry today.
Anyways,
Okay?
but literally
We've served.
we've served,
We're
we
serving.
serve, and we will serve to the day we die.
That's
But
it.
no, honestly, like we love God
Yeah.
and we love serving, and that's like our heart's posture
Yep.
to be servants in
Yep.
whatever way that we can be, whatever way
Mm-hmm.
we can help the church. And beyond the four walls, like we are servants of God.
Yep.
Like our ministry is not we're just helping the church. Like if I see somebody on the road,
That's it.
yeah, like I'm gonna help if I can,
Yeah.
But I think it's good for us to discuss. Like you mentioned all of these aspects of you serving while you were single.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that resume is
Yeah.
extensive.
Yeah.
But how did that kind of transition when like we got married? What did that look like?
I think it was tough.
I don't think we thought enough about it
I
in
think it was
terms
tough.
of
Yeah. I think it's tough because when you're single, it's like you have your own natural like responsibilities in life, but you don't have like
Yeah.
the marriage responsibilities and leading your home, leading your family, those type of things. So naturally, we was on some like, yo, I'm at church. I was dropping off the kids. I was going to church. I was just doing something, fixing a thing, doing a thing, or whatever the case may be. Not calling like, hey, babe, you need something? Because, I'm about to go to church. But I would just go because I was this natural instinct of like, I've been serving and I'm going to still serve. But I think when you get married, honestly, in just seasons generally, single too, is that sometimes it looks different. And it's not different like, oh, put ministry away and focus on
Yeah.
that. But it is just cultivating a system or
A healthy relationship outside
relationship.
of serving.
Correct.
And I think we also have to talk about what it looks like serving at like different capacities because
Yeah.
when we got married, like you came to my church,
Yeah.
normally like the wife would
Yeah.
leave,
Yeah.
leave and
Oh,
clean.
West Indians. You have to go to the man church.
I wasn't going.
No, but I mean, I was also on my way out too, so
Yeah.
it kind of worked out. But I think no, it is different, your capacity and what it is. But I think it looked different for us. Well, first of all, when you're single, well, when you first get married, let's say you don't have kids, right? It's different because you were working. I was freelancing, so it's like, okay, cool. I got free time. I'm gonna go do something, So I'm in my mind. I'm gonna go to church.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do what I gotta do.
Oh,
do
and
what I wanna see
backstory,
do.
guys. When we got married, I don't think immediately, not immediately when we got married, but probably a couple of years after, like we were serving on the same team.
Oh.
Like he was like the head, and I was like the girl doing lyrics, and he was my husband, and he was, the director end.
He was the worst volunteer.
What are you
I'm
talking
sorry.
about?
To me,
Well, yeah, to you.
so disobedient.
Very disobedient. Very disobedient.
But yo, that's a struggle. That was a struggle.
Yo, that was a struggle.
I was going to church and like we would leave church. I'm like, you cannot be on my team anymore. I can't do this because you don't listen. It was tough. It was actually a really tough thing, and I think it was a learning curve. I think we navigated it a little bit.
I think I learned a lot from it in
Mm-hmm.
that season in terms of like, I kind of used the wife card, or like, well, that's my husband, you
Yeah,
know? So
yeah,
like you were kind of like my shield. But I had to realize like how that wasn't good in what I was doing,
yeah,
you know? So if something arise or whatever, I wouldn't like get much like slack or I
yeah,
wouldn't say
yeah, yeah,
trouble.
yeah.
But I feel like I could have done that season a little bit better,
Oh
but I've
yeah,
learned from it.
you have.
And
I mean, we don't serve in the same ministry together.
no,
So.
I'm still a part of the projection team.
Projection scene?
Projection team.
Production. See, that's
I'm
how
still
far she going.
I'm still a part of the project.
See, she good. We good.
I'm still in the chat. Okay,
Okay,
guys. I'm a
whatever.
I'm a if y'all really need if like nobody shows up, I know how to do the lyrics, okay?
Kind of.
Kind of because the system is different now. But literally I've learned a balance of kind of separating your personal
Yeah.
and also like your kind of professional relationships and navigating that,
Yeah.
you know? Because I think like you have to be able to respect and honor your mate
Yeah.
in the capacity and whatever they're doing in that
Yeah.
season or that time or whatever their title is. It
Yep.
can't be because I'm his wife
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not going to listen
Yeah. But I
because
know
that's
we,
not
we
being
help each other.
respectful.
We help each other, and that's what you said is right. Help me,
Yeah.
because if you have to be somewhere, I gotta hold the kids down. I gotta do whatever.
Yeah.
Vice versa. If I have to do something, my expectations or both our expectations should be that, hey, I have that person that's gonna help me navigate it. And we just talking about it's like how things look different in different seasons
Different
and
seasons.
capacities. Like, we serve in two pinnacle ministries, and at times we're both
We're
serving at the same
both
time.
serving, we both have to be
Yep.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're both trying to like crack the code on who's taking our 50 million kids. Like, how are
Mm-hmm.
we like separating
How do we
them?
do it? Yeah.
How are we doing that? Because we both have to be there. And I think that is like probably a hard part
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
of ministry or the part of it where we kind of navigate like, okay, well, let's think of a game plan. I think we're
Yeah.
so much better now with let's think of a game plan.
Yeah.
All right, we know this week is going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
How are we splitting it up?
Yeah.
Like, all right, can you go this time? Maybe I won't go to that, but I'll need you to be
Yeah.
at this,
Yeah.
you
And I
know?
think that's it. I think we touched on it before about prioritizing time in those busy seasons, right? So, use example, Fresh Oil Conference, right? When that rolls around,
It's like a women's conference of
yeah,
the
we're
year.
both heavily involved.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting to both like try to figure out the kids, be here at church, do what we have to do, all these type of things. But we've kind of worked out our system where it's like, okay, cool. Well, when do you got to be there? All right, cool.
Yeah.
When do I have to be there? And how does that work? And beyond that part of how do we do the ministry part, but how do we do our personal life? How we do our marriage, right?
Yeah.
So before that is, hey, let's go out to eat.
Yeah.
Let's spend some time. Let's watch some movies. Let's spend this time connecting with
Yeah.
each other, so that when
When
that
that
time
heavy
comes,
season or time
where
comes.
hey, we may not be able to be as connected as we want to be,
Yeah.
or we're just super busy because at that point we're at church or we're doing whatever, and then we're going home, we sleeping.
Yeah.
We don't really get to talk as much during the day, or if we do, it's kind of about ministry and whatever. We do check on each other. Hey, you good? You all right? Boom. But then after that, it like we're just jumping right back. Right, that weekend is like we go to sleep at like 2:00, get back up about 5, 6, and then we back at it again, and then it's
Yeah.
all over again. So being intentional about spending the time then, and then even after saying, hey, let's go do something.
And I think
Right, we
something
did
that's
that with our
important.
kids too.
Yeah, I think that's important that you mentioned because it's like I think I saw something on. I'm always seeing some on Instagram, guys, literally. But it basically said that you cannot effectively like serve in ministry
Hmm.
until you learn to turn your marriage and
Into a ministry.
into a ministry
Yeah, yeah.
itself, or treat it as a ministry and be able to like serve each other.
Hmm. No, it's true. I mean, the Bible says, "Love your wife like Jesus loved the church," and your marriage, your house is your family's your first ministry.
Yeah, that's your first
So
ministry.
y'all can't be at each other's neck and they go serve God at church because it's just not. It's in
And how
discord
many
and disorder.
times like is that like that happens? Like I'm not even gonna front. Like there's times
Yeah,
when like I try to avoid arguing with Ramel on a
I mean it
Sunday.
hasn't happened in a long time, but it has happened.
Yeah, where
Yeah,
we're like so frustrated. We're arguing in the car, and then we're like, all right, we got to get together
put our game
because
face
we
on.
got to put our game
But
face
we
on.
realized how unhealthy that was.
Exactly.
That was so unhealthy because now I'm in church. I can't even worship the way I want to. I
Or
can't
focus or
serve how I
talk.
want to.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's, to be honest, it's toxic, right? It's toxic. So it's like we learn how to like, you know,
let's talk
let's
through it.
talk. Let's
Even
talk
if
through
like
things.
yo, like let's take like the next like 5 minutes in the car. I know we're supposed to be at this at a certain time, but if we don't take this next five
Yeah,
minutes and then try to like talk about it later, then like we're not gonna be good.
yeah. And
Yeah.
honestly, some of it could just stem from like timing or communication or whatever it is, like at home,
Yeah.
right? Like us trying to get out the door at a certain time, or us just trying to take care of these things. But to me, you can't serve in ministry, or you can't be as effective serving in ministry if your home ain't right first.
Nah, that's a fact.
Your home got to be right.
Yeah.
Like it has to be.
Yeah. I mean, it won't be perfect.
No,
It
not
won't be
perfect, but it's got
perfect.
to be okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because guess what? You can't sleep at the church. You can eat food at the church. You can fellowship at the church. You can do all stuff, but you can't sleep at the church. And you got to go home eventually.
Yeah, you're gonna have
So
to deal with
I
the
don't want to go
situations.
home to my bed on crazy, my house looking crazy, but I was at the church sweeping and mopping and doing all this stuff. I want to make sure that my house is good.
Yeah.
Because guess what? I have to serve God at church and at home. You serving God just as much as you are when you're at church. And sometimes we might lose sight of that at home is where ministry is
It's
at too.
ministries. Yeah, because like your kids are literally seeing you
Yep.
every single day, and that is a huge impact into like how they will also view the church.
Yep.
You
No, it's
know.
true. Like my growing up, I watched my grandparents every single morning pray. They wouldn't leave their bedroom till they prayed. When I was growing up as a kid, I knew at when I woke up, or if I heard my grandmother door open, now I gotta go inside. And a lot of times, maybe if you're just really younger, like, I would sleep with them, whatever. I knew they waking me up and I'm praying, and that's something that I had to instill in my family because
Yeah.
what made them be married 60 something years, and are 93 and 90 years old
Yeah.
and still kicking, still
Yeah.
moving, and serve God to the best of their abilities. And
Because they took care of each
they
other.
took care of each other. They took care
Yeah.
of their house first, took care of their first ministry, which was their marriage. And it translated to how they served in ministry publicly.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the things that I think about is I don't want to serve unhealthily,
That's not a
well,
word.
unhealthy,
Unhealthy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
healthily,
Healthily.
whatever, and then publicly
Display
display.
that you are thriving in ministry
No, I want to have the same face, the same persona, the same everything, and be
in front and
in
behind the
front.
doors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to be the authentic person that I can be.
Aww. That made me tear. That was so cute.
Oh, stop.
No, but that's important. And I think setting boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
It's such like boundaries. I hate the word boundaries because it's such like a harsh term, and I struggle with it with like ugh, boundaries. Like oh my god,
But when you say boundary, so here's the thing. I think when we say boundaries and then we put church or ministry next to it, it's like, oh yeah, I ain't trying to be at church. No, it's setting healthy boundaries that say, hey, this is the time frames that I have. Like I could tell you, this is me personally. How many times I'd be at church and I'm working and I'm tired, and somebody be like, I'm going home. You like, where you going?
no facts, right?
And what you mean
What you
you
mean? I was
leaving?
here since like
Oh, I can't be there because I got to do this. I'm like, excuse you?
right.
Like, and I'm here doing whatever. But listen, God convicted me one day, slapped me in my face and said, hey, sir, listen, the way that I ask you to serve ain't the way that I ask somebody else to serve.
That's
That's
good.
your serving. That's how I ask you to serve. And
You can't judge or look
no,
at someone else.
you can't. You
Yeah.
can't look at somebody. You can't look at the way that someone else serves. Because I'm gonna say this and be very honest. Guess what? It could be the person that's there morning, noon, night, all day, 24/7
And they
serving.
still going to hell.
And guess what?
When they
No,
get to the
I ain't say
pearly
all
gate.
that now.
When they get
I
to
ain't
the
say all
pearly
that
gates,
now.
Jesus like,
But
what
what I'm
did you
saying
do with the
is that guess what?
time?
They could still be living an unhealthy life or
Yeah.
not righteous life. And the person that is there, there's people, I've heard stories and there's just people that have lived their life crazy and on their dying bed say, hey, God, I'm sorry. And guess
Yeah.
what? They probably went to heaven, right? Or there are people that just lived life right,
Yeah.
right? They didn't proclaim to be a Christian. They didn't proclaim to be, that goes to church, but they just lived their life right. And they may have gone to heaven or they may have not.
You wrong with that
Well,
thought.
you know what I mean. No,
No,
I'm not
like
saying. I'm
they
not
gotta
saying.
profess that
Yes, that, of course they
Jesus.
got to
Yeah, yeah.
perfect.
All
I'm
right,
saying.
I'm just inserting
I'm
that.
saying that they've lived a
Yeah,
right a good life.
yeah.
That's what I mean. Yes,
A
I know
modest,
that they
good
got to
life.
proclaim.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that part. What I'm saying is that they live a modest life. Whatever. Us sometimes. Some of us that's just doing the most, or you there 24/7. That doesn't mean.
That doesn't mean yeah.
Yeah, but that could just boil down to unhealthy boundaries that they just don't even understand that they have. And that's what I want to like. That's why we're talking about it, right? Because my thought is that if you can set healthy boundaries for yourself, not for ministry, for yourself, right? You set your time for ministry, and let me say this: the entire time is God time.
Yeah.
The entire time is God's time.
Yeah. You'll just be in different areas and
Different
environment.
places,
Yeah.
different places in your life at that time. It's
Yeah.
all God's time.
Yeah.
It's all borrowed time, right? But you set the boundaries of, hey, okay, my kids got soccer, I gotta be at soccer. My daughter has dance
Dance.
recital
Yeah.
or whatever swim class, whatever it is, I
You
gotta
got to
do
show
that.
up in certain areas.
Because
Yeah.
the worst thing is for you to do is to be at church 24/7 and not show up for your kids in that moment. And then guess what? They resent you or they even resent church because
Yeah.
all they see as kids is that
You weren't there.
church took my
Away.
parents.
Yeah.
Church took my parents' time when all these other kids was there because now they could look at it and say, well, you go to church? No, I don't go to church. So in their mind, as a kid, this is kids, the way kids
Yeah.
think, is that, well, if they mama, if that kid didn't go to church and they mom there all the time, why I gotta go to church? Maybe if I don't go to church, maybe my mom don't go to church, then they get confused with that thought that maybe church ain't it because then I can see my parents more or I can spend more time doing whatever that's fun or enjoyable. No, we don't want them to get that high. We don't want them to understand or learn that. We want them to see what healthy serving is, healthy ministry is, so that guess what? They can still be raised in the church. And the Bible says train a child in the way that they should go. So my job is to train them in the right way
Yeah.
so that they'll never depart from it.
Yeah.
Right? But if I'm showing them unhealthiness, an unhealthy relationship with ministry, or an unhealthy relationship in my marriage, even,
Yeah.
right, that they'll depart from it.
Yeah. They
They'll go,
won't.
I
Yeah.
bet. Like,
This ain't it.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
But if I show them a healthy relationship, now I want that.
Yeah.
I want to be in church. I want to serve God. Our kids, man, like
They
they
church
sing it.
rats.
My daughter, I mean, Abby might sing one or two songs off of like TikTok or not. She's not watching TikTok. She's watching YouTube and
I
whatever.
don't know. The kids YouTube be having
Yeah,
TikTok
yeah.
these days. I don't know,
But
guys.
9 times out of 10, or I sometimes 10 times out of 10,
She's singing.
she's singing something she heard at church.
Yeah, she's praying.
They pray every night. They pray every morning. They talk about God all
Because
the
they
time.
see us emulate like these patterns, and these patterns aren't just patterns that
Yeah.
we're doing when we are in church.
Correct.
But we're
Yeah.
doing this like outside of the four walls.
Yeah. The other day I picked up Abby from school and she said, and I think because they talked about it in Kid City, and she says, Daddy, baptism, when I get that? And I was like, whoa, what? And it warmed my heart because I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm bringing you to the right place,
Yeah. Like she's
right?
connected with the fact of
She's
like,
connected. She's not just in like some like Sunday school thing. That's like she just she understands what's
yeah, or she's
happening. Yeah,
getting to
and
that age to
it's a
learn to
right.
understand.
It's a good place that they are learning and understanding who God is.
Yeah.
You know,
Foundational like
foundational things,
elements.
all of those things. Even the other day, I was putting the kids to bed and they were praying, and Coco saying, you know, thank you for mommy, thank you for daddy, thank you. She's like, thank you for God, and I'm
Okay.
like, listen, hallelujah,
All right.
right? And I love
That
that.
makes me smile. That makes me
I
happy.
love that because
Yeah.
what they hear in the house, they hear the gospel music, they hear good foundational things that's gonna help them and honestly carry them.
Yeah.
And my hope is that they continue with that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And it can only happen with giving them, showing them healthy boundaries,
Healthy boundaries and
healthy
also being
relationships.
intentional, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, being intentional with our time
Mm-hmm.
and intentional with setting apart
Yeah.
time for them, you
Family
know?
first.
Family first and then also like but I understand there'll be seasons where we might be serving very heavy
Yeah. Yeah.
for a certain time, but just intentionality that okay, when this conference is over, maybe Easter is like a heavy hitter. We know that we're gonna be doing
Yeah.
this for our kids, and it may not work for maybe your family structure, but it's something that like works for us.
Yeah.
So we know summertime, we're super intentional on like our family vacations with our
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
and taking them away.
You got to do that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're like, that's a point of the year.
Mm-hmm.
If we serve heavy for these couple of months, we know that summertime
Yeah.
is for the kids,
Yeah.
you
No,
know?
it's true. I think you have to separate that time and say, hey, listen, this Sunday, this week, this
Or like the
season,
other day, we took them, Martin Luther King, we took them to see like Disney on Ice, and
loved it.
they loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to be intentional
With
about
time.
spending the time. Because you don't want to look back and be like, man, I wish I wish I would have took them here. I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have took them there and had spent this time with them or whatever. But you want to be intentional about that time while they're young, while they can remember it, while they can retain all of it, because it goes
Yeah.
back to the boundaries. So even with me saying like you know, family first isn't to say that God isn't first, right? It's not to say that what your life is. And I'll say this is that family first means that your priority to your family is first,
Yeah.
right? Don't leave your house a mess,
Or not good.
a
Like, yeah.
wreck, and show up to church, smile on your face, and doing whatever role you're doing. Because that's not healthy. It's
No, it's
not
not.
good, right? We go through seasons of tiredness. The other day was a part of a staff meeting. We just kind of talked about that too. Just talked about our personal, like where we are. And
Right
something I'm
now.
happy
Yeah.
that we had that conversation because it was a truth moment for me to be honest about how I actually feel. And those are the things that I think about. Like those are things that honestly like sit with me is that if I can be honest with myself and where I am, it allows me to serve better
Yeah.
because I can say, yo, I need a minute, guys.
Because you're going to be, yeah, you can't serve from like an unhealthy
Hmm.
place.
Yeah.
Because it's not only, especially the fact that we serve in leadership roles.
Yeah.
What happens now is that if you are serving in an unhealthy way,
Yeah.
it
It
now
projects. It projects to your
projects
ministry.
onto your team.
Mm-hmm.
And now your team, they're seeing like, how your attitude or
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
how you're like not feeling it, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe you're not doing
Yeah.
what you're supposed to, and then it projects onto them, and they're like, well, if the person that's supposed to be leading
If he
me,
don't care, why I
if he
care.
don't care, well, why should I care?
Correct. Yeah.
And then now you're doing a disservice not only to the ministry but to literally the kingdom of
Yeah.
God, because
Yeah.
you're literally being toxic and
Mm-hmm.
intoxicating other people by your patterns and your attitude, because you did not decide to take the time
Mm-hmm.
to revamp,
Yeah.
refocus, and
That's
get it
good.
together.
Yeah. And what I found helpful being in leadership is having someone that can hold me accountable.
Yeah.
someone that I can just talk to. So when I'm frustrated, I have people that I just call, yo, I need to talk. I'm frustrated. And we don't get off that call until I've not that I'm okay now, but I've reached a point where I've given the person has given me room to analyze what I'm feeling, right? Gives me the opportunity now to now think outside of myself, think outside of my frustration, and now say, all right, but did you look at it like this? Did you
Yeah.
consider this? And truthfully, yo, everybody's got something going on. Everybody's going through a thing. But it's just about how you manage that. And I think in leadership, it's the pastor, man, pastor did something. I don't know if you remember. It was like the pyramid thing, but it was like upside down.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
good. Because, we hold the weight isn't at the bottom. It's not at the top, sorry. It's at the bottom, right? So like the weight of the pyramid is at the top and you work your way down. So when you get to a certain point in leadership, there are things that you have to hold up. And you have to be mindful of the things that you're holding up, the people that you're
The
holding
people
up.
that you're holding up to.
So if you're not doing that from a healthy place,
Then
then
literally everything
everything
that's under
crumbles.
you
Yeah.
will crumble.
Yeah.
And
And it falls not just on you, but then it falls on a person above you, or
yeah,
and it just
it
becomes
can
a domino
crumble.
effect. Yeah.
Yeah, a whole ministry, a
Yeah.
whole
So it's about health.
health is wealth.
Health is wealth. Yeah. That is true.
No, that's
Our friend Nika has an amazing thing. Healthy creatives.
yeah.
That's
She
so good.
really
Yeah.
yeah. She has a really cool brand where she's talking about like the health of like creatives.
Yeah.
And just keeping like a healthy mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
Like even today, like I woke up and I was just so tired. We just had a long weekend,
Yeah.
and it was just a long day.
Yeah.
And literally, like I had like so many different racing thoughts. It's Monday,
Yeah.
gotta go to work, gotta think of the kids getting up, super tired. But I took refuge and strength in literally taking some quiet time because sometimes like I just get up and I'm like pew I'm
Yeah.
just gone. I'm until a certain point in my day, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take this time out to now pray and do all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But this specific day today, I was like, no, I need to do something earlier because my brain, like, I literally cannot function at work
Yeah.
right now. So I put on some music, and remember, I asked you if you could bring me down my Bible, and I was just reading. And literally, I found like the strength that I needed to like get through the day from just like pressing into God, pressing into His presence.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's important to note, that you gotta have a relationship with God.
Gotta.
Serving is, it's a, I wouldn't say it's for the weak. I don't want to scare y'all to say like, you
Yeah.
know, if you serve, like you scared, like, whoa, what am I signing up for? No, it's not like that. Please don't take it like that. But literally, you gotta find strength,
Yeah.
and your source literally will be from God. You know, so literally, I just pressed into His presence and I said, God, like, I have nothing, and I just need you. And I really felt like my whole entire day just changed. So I say that to say that your relationship with God is important, whether
Yeah.
you're serving or not,
Yeah.
but especially if you're serving. You need to have a relationship with God.
Yeah.
Nothing matters. It
Yeah.
does not matter if you are serving.
Fact.
If you cannot turn around and say that I have a relationship with God. And I
Right.
feel like to be transparent, I had a season where I was just serving. I was just doing. And I almost made it seem or feel like, all right, well, if I'm doing for God, then like kind of like that's my relationship. Like He see my heart. He know I'm serving.
Yeah. No.
But no, literally, there was like this emptiness, this quiet time of
Yeah.
me not talking to Him because I'm like, all right, well, I'm doing for Him.
Yeah.
But that does not translate to having a relationship with God, reading your word,
Yeah.
listening to encouraging music, gospel, and literally talking to Him. It's that simple, whether that's journaling, talking,
Yeah.
but you gotta keep up your relationship with God.
Yeah. No, it's good. I think it tracks back to, I was saying, probably one of the other episodes, when we talk about like seeking. So you can serve, and I think serving in that capacity, what you're referring to is like just the action of it, right? But when you're serving and seeking at the same time, or that you're keeping God and you're like in His Word, you're in His presence, and you're talking with God, and you do now it gives you the why, the how, the want to, the drive, all of those things, and it keeps
Yeah.
you going,
It keeps you grounded.
keeps you grounded. Yes,
But then it
to serve. Yeah,
also gives you insight, but God will also be like, no, you need to rest. You can't be there.
listen.
Like you will hear him say
Yeah,
like, that ain't for you. Don't go up there and pray.
yeah.
Don't do it.
No, it's crazy you said it because, man, the rest part, I love that part. But it was, man, it might have been Craig Rochelle. Somebody said it. They made like a post. No, actually, no, it was Steve Furtick. And he was talking about rest, and he was just like, you gotta like, you being close to God, or you having a relationship with God, that God is about rest. So he gonna sort that part out for you. So I think sometimes we like get wrapped up in the doing, but yo, you might be tired, but if you're in God, like if you're following Him and you're seeking Him and you're in with God, you got that, you locked in. The rest is with it because He about that too. You know what I'm saying? He about the doing. He's about the work, but He's about the rest
He's
too.
about the
He's
intentionality
about the
of
intention.
working
Yeah,
and also taking that time to rest. And
yeah.
we can see that in the Bible, you know?
Man, well, I feel like we talk a lot about serving, a lot about ministry,
Yeah.
and we touched on marriage. But I feel like I wanna talk a little bit more about the marriage part. You want to talk about it?
I mean, what? Like, what do you want to talk about?
No, to me,
Specifically related to it?
there's, I think serving together, and serving each other, right? How do we serve each other? How do we serve together?
Yeah.
I think one of the things I'll say is that serve together, but also sit together, right?
Yeah.
Serve together, but sit together.
Yeah.
Find time to pour into His presence together,
Yeah.
the same way you serve together.
Yeah. I think that's important.
Find the time to be connected with Him together. I think that's something that I think we've learned, that
Yeah.
we've served together in the same ministry, but now that we don't serve as much on the same ministry, we're both sometimes two different ends of the church.
Yeah. You're like, sometimes Sundays we literally may not like,
I'm like, hey, what's up?
yeah. It's like like he'll walk straight past me and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Don't
Like,
do that because you ain't looking at me. You ain't paying me no
no, I'm
attention.
saying like because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
also not, because my head is so zoned in. You're
yeah,
so
yeah.
zoned in. But I don't want you guys to like take that like no, literally like we've like this morning I'm like, Ramel, I need you to put on gospel music. Like I just need us to be
Yeah,
here. And
yeah,
you did that, and we, that was the first thing we did this morning.
yeah.
So we do have our intentional moments of spending time with each other, in
Yeah,
God, and like, reading the word, or we do a lot of talks. Like we have a lot of car
yeah, yeah, yeah,
conversations, and I'll like vent to you my frustrations, or not even
yeah.
frustrations, or whatever I'm dealing with.
Yeah,
And you'll literally like hold me up.
yeah.
And
Well, that's a part of the serving each other because I
yeah,
think there's gonna be a time where you're not. It's the glass half full, half empty thing where you may not be at a full capacity mentally, spiritually, physically, everything, and us being connected in that way allows me to see that you're not okay, or that you're not at that place. So now I can take, because I've been seeking God, because I've been
you
having my
can
intentional
pour. You,
relationships with
you,
God,
you're
right?
doing your pour
I can
into
now
me.
pour to you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
When you need it,
Yeah.
and vice versa. You could pour into me. So if we're serving separately
Separately but together.
but together, and not serving each other, or not sitting with each other, or not seeking with each other,
And we're not seeking God. Like we're
yeah,
gonna be on E, you will be on empty,
yeah.
you will be on zero,
And I'll
zilch.
say
You ain't
this:
got
I
it.
think that's where the arguments come through. That's where the
Yeah.
problems come in because we're not at the place
Of being connected with
be
each other
connected
and
with
being
each other.
connected with
Yeah,
God.
because we're so on two different ends of the spectrum. But if we're with each other, we can see, the times when you've picked me up, I've picked you up, because I've still been in my seeking place. You may sometimes be, listen, one of us might stray away, or not stray away fully,
Not
but
straight away, but yeah.
just not
Just
be
not
in,
be in a
just, yeah,
certain like
going through
great
it
mental.
mentally, physically, all of these things that we might just be dealing with individually. Work may be stressing, but you might be upset. Hey, you prayed? You know what I'm saying? You need a second? Take a
Yeah.
second, because it's what our jobs are,
To serve each other.
serve each other. And I think regardless of outside of our marriage, before we were married, right? Your first love, your love is Christ, Jesus, and you get married and he's not intertwined with that.
It's that third chord,
That third
baby.
chord.
That third chord.
And I'm getting as to say is that what you may be needing at that moment is that example of
Yeah.
Christ, that love that might not even be about what I could just do for you intimately or whatever, but it could just be the tap. You okay? Right?
Yeah.
Because I'll say this, like there are times where it's what I think about when I'm saying this? I'm thinking about when you may be at the altar. Like say you're at the altar and you seeking God, you looking for something right now. And it might be that person that touched you.
Because they interceding
They're
on your
interceding on
behalf.
your
They
behalf.
see where you at and they taking it to the Lord for you.
And you don't even a person don't even know you from a hole in the wall. But God then say, yo, I need you to go pray for that person, touch that person, say this, say that, whatever. And that's honestly that's happened to me a lot of times, in ministry. And for my household, for me and you, that's what that is. So I can tell when you're not okay.
Yeah.
And my responsibility is to one now intercede for you. And I had posted a video. I think it's so true that the interceding part is the word is interceding on your behalf, but I'm standing in your place,
Or in the gap.
in the gap. So now you may be needing something, and if we're both locked in, and I'm in God and you're in God and whatever, like I can see that, and I can now, hey, you okay? You need something right now? What can I do for you? So I think it's having that good, healthy relationship with ministry, but having an amazing relationship with our marriage.
And I think the amazing relationship is going to come with,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll talk more about this in our
Ooh,
marriage
that's the next episode. Right?
episode, but you're going to have to communicate
Mm-hmm.
where you're at.
Yeah.
I believe if you keep stuff bottled in and you're not being transparent with your partner
Yeah.
and saying, hey, babe, like, I just had a crazy, whether it's ministry, whether it's whatever aspect of your
Mm-hmm.
life, you have to have that open communication to let this person
Yeah.
in and let them know that I'm not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it happens. It's not. Let's not say it's not. It happens.
Yeah. All
Let's
the
not try to
time.
act like it doesn't happen. It happens. It happens to the best of us. It happens. There are gonna be times where you're just life is life, and
And even when life isn't life, and like, still got to communicate.
you still gotta communicate.
Yeah. Like,
Life be life, and so it's important. It's vital.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've learned a lot in our season of serving
Mm-hmm.
and learning to have healthy boundaries,
Yeah.
having intentional time with our kids and with each other,
Mm-hmm.
learning to communicate
Yeah.
better with each other.
Yeah.
And we've seen the better parts of it. It has not always been a bed of roses.
Be honest. Yeah.
It has not been a bed of roses. Like, I don't want you guys to think that it's always been great.
No.
But what we've always done is keep God at the center.
Yeah.
And I think, especially with marriage, like, you have to keep God at the center of your marriage, or it's
Yeah.
just not going to work.
Yeah. No, it's true.
I remember there was one time we were serving. We're going back to the serving. I think not immediately when we got married, but probably a couple of years after. And we were just serving at like two different capacities. Or like Ramel was like serving here, and I like my serving energy was like here. So we would like be in church, and I'm like, Ramel, we gotta go. And a lot of my frustration, a lot of our arguments, came from hello, like,
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. I had meetings. I had stuff to do after church, and she like, yo, I'm ready to go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm like, yo, just hold on a second. Hold on a second. Here the kicker, right?
What's the kicker?
Years later,
Present day.
present time, 2024, I'm at church waiting for Shanice
That's not true.
every Sunday.
That's not true.
Every Sunday.
That is not true.
Every Sunday.
That's not true. He still be having meetings.
Every Sunday. I no lie. I tell people, everybody know me at this point. They go, oh boy. I tell Shanice sometimes, you okay? You feel like coming to church today? Because if she don't come, I get to go home early.
If my pastor see this,
She know it too. It's true. She knows. She knows. We laugh about it all the time.
no.
No, it's the truth. But honestly, it was funny to see
Yeah.
that
Like that
the
switch.
table turned, and
But I kind of like got the ability to like be in your seat and understand like, oh man, I got to do this thing. But then I think we both kind of understand like
Yeah.
the boundaries of like, all right, like let me just do this one thing and then
Yeah.
we out. Like
no,
we
but
gotta
it looks
go. Like,
different.
are you ready?
Like you said, it looks different every season.
Yeah. It definitely looks different in every season. But we hold each other up.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we love serving Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
love serving the Lord.
That's it.
And we're just trying to navigate life with all of the different aspects and
Yeah.
things that we got going on. New baby coming on the way,
Mm-hmm.
our wonderful kids,
Yeah.
our careers,
Yeah.
and just trying to navigate that with being married and
Yeah.
being young.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy.
No, it's not easy.
Definitely not easy,
Not
but
at all.
yeah,
But we do it. We do the best that we can.
we do the best that we can. And we strive to do the
Yeah.
best that we can
Yep.
with God at the center. And that's literally it,
That's it.
you know?
Center of it all.
Huh?
Jesus at the center
Oh.
of it all. Yeah.
You singing
Nope.
in the shower?
Yep.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that is episode 3 of Unfiltered Podcast, talking everything about ministry.
Yep.
It wasn't that bad.
No.
Yeah.
wasn't that bad.
I know what the people think we was going to talk about.
Oh no.
Right? Like, not trying to stray nobody away from Jesus. No, but literally, that is like our very authentic
Yeah.
conversation about ministry
Yeah.
and just helping you to navigate having healthy boundaries and a healthy version of you while you're
Yeah.
serving.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like we say it all the time, like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
There's another one. You put the notification. Bing.
Pew!
Yep.
All About the Cunninghams. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on our socials. All
Yep.
About the Cunninghams. That's our family page.
Yep.
And we have a TikTok, Cunningham.family6. We trying to blow up this year, guys. So
Yep.
help us to the road through.
Trying to be content creators out here.
We are content creators.
are, that's
I don't
it.
know about you.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, we are. We're doing it. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
we're doing it.
podcasters.
Yeah.
We're content creators. I'm going to leave my job this year.
That's a fact.
Yeah?
Not me. No. No, I'm joking. Yes. One day.
One day, okay. But you support.
Of course.
Aw.
Of course. Of course. It's
You always
it's your
support me,
season.
baby.
It's your
Aw.
season.
I love you. But anyways, guys, it's all about us. We have some life updates happening within the next month or so. About
Yeah.
to drop a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Go half on a baby.
Yeah, we did that already.
A lot of times already.
Yeah.
But just follow us along the way. We want you guys to know and love the Lord like we do. And help for you to be able to navigate life
Yeah.
in the different aspects.
Yep,
So just follow us on our YouTube, our socials, and get ready for the next episode.
What's the next episode?
Oh, I don't know.
Marriage.
Is it?
Is it? Yeah, marriage.
We're
yeah.
talking about marriage.
Let's talk
next.
about marriage, man. I think it's gonna be really good. Talk about our marriage. Talk about what it is, what it feels like to be married. I don't know about y'all, but I'm married to an amazing person right here.
Aw.
Get you one, okay? Get you one.
I'm a headache though. I'm not gonna front. Like, I do give him a headache, and I'm very loud and proud with it. I'm very strong-willed, but I'm a lover, and I love this guy so much. I feel like he is literally God's gift to me. He is the mirror version of like everything probably that I'm not, that God like literally has given me in a person.
Stop, yo.
Yeah. So, anyway, stay tuned for our next episode. We are changing our schedule. We are no longer dropping on Fridays.
Yep.
We feel like Friday is the beginning of the weekend,
Yeah.
and who wants to listen to podcasts on the weekend? So
Tuesday.
catch us on Tuesdays now, or
Yep.
sometime throughout the week. Catch us in the mornings. We'll
People
be
was looking for it on
dropping.
Friday.
I know. I'm so sorry, guys. We promised it was.
Yeah.
We promised we're not gonna let you down
Yep. Yep.
on this
Yep.
journey. We're gonna stay consistent.
Keep us accountable
Keep
too,
us
yo.
accountable.
Let us
We
know.
love the
Where's
accountability.
that? Let
Yeah.
us know where we
No,
at.
I got text messages. We got
Yeah.
text messages on Friday, like, what's going on?
What's up? Like,
I'm like, ooh, like that gave me motivation. Like, we gotta
yeah,
keep
yeah,
going.
for real. For real.
But we're gonna be dropping in a week, so just stay tuned and stay on the lookout for the next episode.
Yep.
And all about the Cunninghams, everything about us.